So we have two more storytellers for you that we're super excited about. So our fourth storyteller is Steve Ladd. Steve Ladd is a stand-up comedian and singer-songwriter. He is a Moth Slam winner and is currently working on a solo show. Right? That's exciting. I mean, come on, let's give it up for Steve Ladd.
Hey, I noticed nobody signed the listserv, and I bet it's because I didn't leave a pen. That's probably the only reason that didn't happen.
Mystery of the unsigned listserv.
So I'm gonna go ahead
Boys.
and I'm gonna pass this old clipboard around. It's got a ruler on it. You could just sign up. Please write in all caps, because it turns out I can't read anything else. Pops, I'll start with you. No, you guys already signed it. You're from out of town.
We only email you once a month.
Oh yeah, we don't sell your emails, and we only email you once a month. Thanks for coming. You should get a question.
Can't wait.
Would you rather?
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather? Oh, God, thank you.
Never be said that I was not nice.
I'm not on my game tonight. Okay. Would you rather have 10 wishes, but you can't wish for money, or $200 million?
Oh, definitely the wishes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That
Who needs money?
pump change.
Wait a minute.
Pump
Can I
change.
rethink that?
All right, give it up for Steve, y'all.
Thanks a lot. My father called me. You know, we had a crazy day today, your mom and I. We woke up in the morning, your mom had a breast lump. We were out all day and getting tests, looking to try and figure out what was going on. We went over to this doctor. Dad, is Mom okay? He said, yeah, she's fine. And I said, well, you need to tell me that everything is fine before you start telling me all the details. If I had had any problem today, I would have told you that. Indignantly, he says to me. Not long after, he calls me. Crazy day today. You know, your Uncle Harold, my father's youngest brother, was on the table getting his shunt replaced because he's on hemodialysis. And he became decorticate on the table. We're both physicians, so I know what that means. That's one step away from being stroked out. Dad, is Uncle Harold okay? Yeah, he's fine. You did it again. I know you're going through hell, but it's not fair. Just let me know that everything is fine. My daughter, she got married. She's an Orthodox Jew. I used to be an Orthodox Jew. Maybe in the future. Doubtful. She got married. Wonderful young man, Daniel. Sweet, wonderful. Unfortunately, Daniel was misdiagnosed when he was a child, and at the age of 13, his pediatrician died. Thankfully, because then they realized that Daniel had a heart problem, and he was in surgery a few days after his pediatrician died. My daughter fell in love with him, and in the Orthodox world, you go pretty fast. And it wasn't until the fourth or fifth date that he says, you know, I've got this scar on my chest because I had to have surgery twice, one at the age of 13 and then at 21, and now I'm 24. So that I've got this scar, he tells her. But she loved him. They got married. Unfortunately, 11 weeks after they got married, I get a phone call. Dad, the ambulance is here. You need to go to the hospital. Columbia, top of Manhattan, the Allen Pavilion. To drive to something that you don't want to be at. It's terrible. To get there and see that they're still pumping on his chest. As a physician, you know that you don't want him to live. You want him to be gone. Because after 45 minutes of pumping, there is nothing left. They're just doing it because they have to let a physician at the hospital pronounce him dead. My daughter, to hold her in my arms, 11 weeks after we danced. And it didn't take long for the physicians to come in and tell us that he had died. You know, it's after midnight in a hospital, and if you've been in a hospital at night, the hallways are way too wide for the few people that are walking. And I'm standing in one of these wide hallways. Nobody's around. And I've got to call my father. Because in Orthodox Judaism, they bury the people very quickly. I knew I had to tell him so he can make his way up for the funeral that was within 12 hours of his death. And to look at that phone knowing that I wasn't going to be able to tell him that everything is really okay. You know, I missed him doing that, and that everything really was okay. 2 years later, my daughter married a wonderful guy, as close to Daniel as you can find. I now have 2 grandchildren. It's been 5 years since the death of Daniel, and I was just with them for Passover at an Orthodox place for 8 days down in Florida, watching my inheritance being spent on kosher food and matzah. It's incredible, incredible waste of money. So I might really want that money that you had spoken about before I think about it. But, you know, I don't want a different outcome from the standpoint of I have my grandchildren. Jacob is 2.5. And he thinks I'm great. I play ukulele for him, and he plays, and it's just awesome. Sadie is 8 months old, and she doesn't say anything, but I know she loves me to death. I can tell in the way she drools in my direction. So clear. So I would like to go back. I'd like to go. I'd like to go back to the hospital, and for Daniel to still be alive, to be able to just have 10 minutes with him. To say, everything's going to be okay. I've been there. Ariella is going to get married. She's going to have 2 beautiful children. At least. I'll miss you. And then I'll pick up the phone and call my dad, and I'll say, everything's okay, even though Daniel is gone now. I will say to my father, everything is okay. but a few things have changed. Thank you very much.
Collective breath.
It's okay, you guys. It is. It's what a beautiful story. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you for
much
sharing.
for sharing that with us, Steve. Thank you.
I left it all.
Okay. So we have one more storyteller who Harvey is going to introduce as soon as we find the sheet where we printed off the bios.